everyone, welcome to 2 Play Quest. Today we'll be reviewing Terraforming Mars. It's a game in which you play a mega corporation which is tasked with terraforming Mars. You do this by playing project cards to raise the temperature, the oxygen and the amount of ocean on the board. By doing this, you gain victory points, and the player with the most victory points at the end wins. Terraforming Mars is a game for 1 to 5 players, meaning it does have a solo mode. The book says it takes 90 to 120 minutes. I can say I don't think we've ever had a game that was less than 2 hours. Perhaps 1, but I'm not sure. Our game should take between 2 to 3, possibly 4 hours if we're really stretching it. But that's something we like doing. We like stretching the game and taking longer. So that depends on your playstyle. When it comes to luck, there is definitely some luck in this game. It all depends on the cards you draft, the project cards. If you have the right project cards, you are quite guaranteed to win if the other person does not. That's why we like the drafting mechanism that the game can include to spread the luck out a bit. Complexity-wise, it is at a 3.26 on Board Game Geek. I think complexity-wise that's not completely true. I think the game is easier, it just takes long, and that is why it's at a 3.26. So it's not a very hard game, it's just quite a long game, which ups the complexity. And then what type of game is it? It is an engine builder with some tile placing mechanics. Not too many in the base game, but the expansions do add more mechanics later on if you choose to buy them. A game round consists of the first player taking 2 of the next actions. You can either play cards from your hand, you can do one of the standard projects mapped here, you can claim one of the milestones, you can claim one of the awards, or you can tap one of the cards in your hand to play that. So you have 2 actions, then it is the next player's turn, and you keep going like that until everybody passes. Now the game ends when the oxygen is at 14, the heat is at +8, and all the water tiles have been placed on the planet. So there is no set end round. It ends when the players have fulfilled these conditions. So the players have influence on when this game ends. How hard is it to learn or teach this game? I would say it is quite easy. It can technically be taught for the basics in about 5 minutes. It's very easy. You gain cards, pay for them, and then you do what the card says. That's it. But understanding what all the cards do and how it affects the game is something very different. That's something you'll learn over a game or a few games to sort of really get why some cards are better than others. But you can learn that while you're playing, which makes it fun because at least you're playing rather than sitting through tons of explanation. So, who is this game for? This game is for the people who want to build and build and build and not be told by the game, oh no, you have to stop now. Because you have influence on when the game ends, plus because you're building towards it, you can decide if now is the time to stop building and start doing stuff. It's not the game that tells you to stop. We like this because we love the building up of the companies, and then at some point we just basically go over to terraforming. But this game gives you the chance to do that. There are plenty of other games out there in which you start building and you sort of feel like you're getting somewhere, but then you have to stop because the game ends. That's not the case here in Terraforming Mars, unless your opponent makes it so. So, if you want to build up, this is your kind of game. If you can find good combinations, and you like finding good combinations between cards, the cards respond to each other slightly, if you have the right cards. So finding connections, knowing what to play when, is also a big part of this game. So if that's something you enjoy, I think this could be the game for you. So, we absolutely love this game. This is the game in all of our board game collection that we have played the most. We have, no joke, at least played this 100 to 150 times. We have made special booklets. We have all the expansions. We love this game. So, why do we love this game? We love this game because, as I stated previously, we can build up our company for as long as we want, as long as the opponent doesn't stop you. So we can keep building and building and building, and you can finally feel like you're getting somewhere, as opposed to other games in which the game stops you. Besides that, there's so much variation in the game strategies that you can take. One person can decide, oh no, I want to focus on plant production this game, and that will sometimes work, sometimes not. All depends on the cards you get. But you're also adjusting your plan pretty much every time you get a new card, unless it's a bad card, in which you can just discard it and get some money for it. But other than that, it is a puzzle game in which you want to build the best company. So we just really enjoy playing it. With the two of us, it's quite a fast-paced game. You plan your go while the other player goes. Because of the minimal interaction with each other, you can just plan your turn around the other player. And that's something we really enjoy. Once you've played this game a few too many times, you might not want to play this game with new people, because you know how it works, you know how the system works, you have a sort of feel for what is important and what is not. If you start playing it with new players, the game will take a lot longer, which, if that's something you want, because you want to encourage people to start playing it, that's up to you. We find that we basically don't want to play this with any other people if they haven't played the game before, because if we were to try and explain the game and then play the game, that game would take ages. We'd be taking so long because they still have to read all the cards, understand how it's played, and we just do not have the patience for it. But you might, and if you do, good for you. But we don't, unfortunately. So we like playing with the two of us, or just other people who know how to play this game. Terraforming Mars has many expansions, so I will try to quickly go over the other extra expansions. You have Hellas and Elysium, which adds 2 more maps to the game, so instead of having 1, you have 3. Then you have Prelude, which adds Prelude cards, which are cards you gain when you are making your company at the start of the game, and you get extra powers, ability, resources in those preludes. Then you have Colonies. Colonies allows you to send colony ships from Mars to the colonies. These will give you resources to play with. Then you have Turmoil, which is a very big extra expansion, not in box size, but in what it does in the game. It adds politics and events to the game. It adds whole new mechanics, whole new systems. We've played Turmoil quite a few times, but recently we are not playing with Turmoil. The reason being, it adds so much time to your game. We just decided that we like playing without. Then we have Prelude 2, which is an expansion on Prelude. You gain more Prelude cards that also respond to the other expansions that have been played. And then you have the big board maps. So now you have, in the base game, you have Mars, Hellas, and Elysium. There you have the big board mats. So they are fabric mats, like mouse mat fabric. I'm uncertain exactly how it's called. I think it's nylon. And it has all the boards for the whole game. So that has the Venus board, the Turmoil board, the colony track, that sort of things. It has it all on one big player mat. And you have the player board expansion is shoved in there somewhere. I cannot exactly remember where. Plus we have sleeves, Terraforming Mars sleeves, on our cards. So a lot of expansions. We play with basically all of them every time, except Turmoil lately, just because of the length of the game and how long we want to make the game. And that was it for Terraforming Mars. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, feedback, requests, put them in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you next week on 2 Player Quest.